Welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock Ironman mode. We'll be speccing into mangrove foraging today, so to start, I applied citrine gemstones to my fig stone splitter for an extra 16 foraging fortune. Mangrove trees are interesting, to say the least. Unlike fig trees, you have to chop them from the branches downward. If you try to chop them from the roots upward, your sweep is halved. The mangrove collection is quite useful. I'm aiming to unlock and craft the 3 pieces of mangrove equipment along with 4 mangrove gems, which apply the groovy reforge. There's also unique tree gift loot, including vine saps and deep roots. The former is necessary for upgrading hunting equipment, and the latter is used to craft a talisman. We'll get to hunting later though, there's a lot of trees I need to cut down first. I reached mangrove tree milestone 1 for an extra +2 sweep, and continued onward with the chopping, quickly hitting milestone number 2. If you're wondering how much mangrove I need, it's about 1,620 enchanted logs, most of which is for the grippers, which require 960. Oh, and if you haven't invested in foraging yet, please do. It's been one of the easiest skills to level up ever since Galatea's release, and you can get up to 94 strength if you max it out. Speaking of, I reached foraging level 36. Keep in mind that I had no booster cookie active during this and was still leveling up quickly. I'd kind of forgotten about my Ath's log tally, so it was a nice surprise to see I maxed out its sweep. I also maxed out the mangrove collection not long later, and with just a couple more minutes of foraging and the tedious collection of a little over 7 enchanted seed loomies, I was able to craft all 3 pieces of mangrove equipment. Ultimately, it's not a significant stat buff, but hey, that's what Skyblock's all about, right? Small stat buffs for not so small time investments? I still needed plenty more for the 4 mangrove gems, so it's straight back to cutting trees. Just look at this beautiful time lapse of chopping down mangroves. This very beautiful time lapse that I am not including to pad time. I reached tree gift milestone 3, marking my 250th mangrove tree. I then hit quite possibly the greatest trifecta of this entire series, reaching Heart of the Forest tier 5, foraging 37, and Skyblock level 140 all at the same time. I unlocked my Center of the Forest and upgraded it to level 3, granting me plus 5% sweep and a greater rate of obtaining forest whispers from trees. The 2 tokens I received went toward Foraging Madness for another 50 foraging fortune and 10 sweep, and the Deep Waters perk for some extra pressure resistance. I used the extra token from my Center of the Forest on the Lottery perk, which is essentially just the foraging version of the Sky Mall perk. There we are, 4 mangrove gems. It's a shame that Groovy is the best foraging armor reforged because it kind of, sucks, to be honest. All that mangrove grinding gave me a metric ton of Agatha contests to bulk claim, granting me hundreds of coupons, hundreds of thousands of forest whispers, and over 500,000 foraging XP. I used the coupons to unlock the Mangrove Personal Best perk, which works identically to its Fig variant, and a couple Mangrove Fortune levels. I stashed the rest away in my storage to be used once I hit the next Agatha milestone. Oringo came by and was selling a lion pet, which I had to get my hands on. It's, in my opinion, better than the tiger pet in most cases. Plus, since this one's epic, I'll only have to upgrade it in cat one more time. I dove back into the Murkwater depths for more sea loomies, this time to craft the pressure talisman. This thing is why I cared about getting deep roots. The more pressure resistance I have, the easier it is to explore the underwater segments of Galatea and hunt underwater creatures. The magical power is a nice little bonus. While we're on the subject of hunting, remember when I mentioned vine sap earlier? Its collection unlocks stronger hunt axes and lassos, and I accumulated a lot of it while foraging, enough to upgrade my hunt axe to reinforced and then to savage, which will do wonders when hunting enemies like glaciate walkers. The lassos are equally simple, just requiring some mangroves and a small portion of vine sap. I was able to upgrade it twice to the Entangler lasso. There's one more hunting tool I want to upgrade, but it's going to take a lot of fishing. So first, I applied Fine Aquamarine to my Topaz Rod and Diver's Armor for a total of plus 10 fishing speed. Believe me, it'll count. I'm going for the medium fishing net, which would allow me to hunt new underwater creatures and make it easier to max out a handful of my existing attributes. It's composed of 8 enchanted sea loomies, 32 sturdy bones, and 8 fletz bones. Let's focus only on the sturdy bones for now. Sturdy bones are easiest to acquire from strider surfers, fished from lava on Galatea. There's this little spot next to the booster NPC where you can grind them easily. Of course, in my case, I deal pitiful damage and take knockback since I don't have the Shellwise attribute yet, but over time, this actually becomes a very simple source of fishing XP. It's a pain in the ass when it takes 8 hits to kill them, sure, but so is everything else in this game. After dropping my 30-second sturdy bone, I moved over to the tomb floodway to fish up fletstones. This is the only area where you can catch them, and also the only area completely devoid of sea creatures. To make up for that, the game gives you plus 10 treasure chance when you're in here. That sounds huge, but Galatea's treasure pool doesn't contain many useful items, so for the most part, it's just fishing up extra mangrove or fig logs, which if I wanted, I'd just cut down trees and it'd be 20 times more efficient. With all 8 fletstones in my grasp, I moved on to getting the 8 enchanted sea loomies. I highly recommend you lobby swap frequently when grinding these because they are not all that abundant down here. At long last, the medium fishing net. I can't wait for the day I do this all over again but for twice as long to get the turbo fishing net. Unfortunately, it doesn't let me hunt shellwise, but I can go after joy dives for an attribute that increases respiration. You throw the net at them, they retreat into a cave, and then you slaughter them. Don't feel bad, dolphins are horrendous creatures. Once I got that out of the way, I sorted through a few basic attributes which I didn't have matched yet, beginning with cod, then moving on to the much more useful azures and verdants, which also happen to be the most abundant fish in the Murkwater depths. In the process, I maxed out the fishing hunts milestone on my David's cloak, making it grant a total of 100 HP. The last attribute I maxed out was salmon, and it will allow me to fish up wet books to apply to my fishing rods for up to 5 extra fishing speed. Mass siphoning attributes has gotta be at least top 3 best experiences in life. We'll now move on to an incredibly important piece of mining progression, the Armored Divan. This is the most powerful mining set in the game, and I'll be forging it today. It's not even that hard, just requiring 4 flawless ruby, 24 Divan fragments, and 40 gemstone mixtures. If it's so easy, why didn't you do this like 4 episodes ago? Well, you see, the real problem with this armor isn't making it, it's getting gemstone chambers to unlock the gemstone slots. We'll table that for just a little bit. For 40 mixtures, I need 160 of each of these fine gemstones, and I'll start with jade since I already had a solid stockpile of it. Seriously, I think I only needed to mine up 20 fine jades worth, and I ended up going well over. Next is amber. This one took a while longer since I had next to none in my gemstone sack. You may have noticed I've opted to mine gemstones in the glaciate tunnels versus in the crystal hollows. It's just much easier since every block is in the same place every single time. There's no setup required, you just need to lobby swap if the gemstones run empty. 2 down. Amethyst was just more of the same, but for sapphire I stumbled upon a couple mine shafts centered around it, which sped the process up thanks to the extra mining fortune for my rags to riches perk. Now that I've got all the gemstones, the only thing left is gathering 12,800 sludge juice, which took a good few hours of hardstone mining in the jungle. I didn't bother with treasure chests because, well, it's not like I really need the gemstone powder anymore. I used to enjoy this kind of mining, but unfortunately this game destroys any and all love or hope or happiness you might have for anything. It's all worth it though. The forging can now begin. With the quick forge perk, 40 mixtures won't take long, so just assume they're perpetually running, alright? The last piece to the puzzle is the 4 flawless ruby, which thankfully is also in the glaciate tunnels. It takes a lot of lobby swapping, but it's easier than setting up ruby routes. I got lucky with a ruby mine shaft too, which made it all the better. Now I can explain gemstone chambers. You see, an evil deity from the depths of hell decided that every one of this armor's 20 gemstone slots would require a chamber. How do you make it? 100 worm membranes and a gemstone mixture. The membranes drop from the 3 different worm sea creatures, and obviously I'll be targeting the flaming worm. Come on, can't be that bad though, it's just a little lava fishing. Yeah, I'm lying out of my ass. Look, there's many things about this game I could spend all day ranting about, but early game fishing is the only thing that genuinely makes me miserable. The skill doesn't become fun until you're like 85% of the way through it, and I've been holding in how much I despise that for this entire video. So anyway, my goal is to get 300 worm membranes before the armor's finished. That'll make 3 chambers that I can shove onto one piece. Getting 2,000 would, it'd take 2 videos worth of time. Most of the membranes came from fishing with a very kind user who killed every flaming worm I spawned with a looting 5 weapon, increasing my drop rate greatly. I hope they see this eventually because they were a lifesaver. Eventually, we formed this worm fishing party with 4 people that I stuck around with until I reached, or rather exceeded, my goal. I claimed the last of my gemstone mixtures and threw in all 4 pieces of the armor Divan. If the menus look laggy, that's just Hypixel's natural state. Thankfully, I had a few leftover gemstone mixtures on my island to put toward the 3 chambers. I claimed them the next day along with my armor and promptly applied them and some flawless topaz and jade to the boots. I chose this piece in particular since I'll be using it in conjunction with my glossy mineral armor for diamond mining. Remember those jade rolls I got during episode 10? Finally time to use them. Even without most of the gemstones, the jaded reforge helps make this armor far better than my Yogg was. This armor served me well, and so I decided to immortalize it on my island. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. No spoilers this go around on what the next video will be.